Hello, everyone, and welcome to PSY 613. I know that most of you are probably excited to be finishing up your program, and also after receiving emails from me today and looking through the course on eCollege, probably also understandably a little bit nervous and confused about all of the things that need to be done for this course. So I wanted to make this very quick reference guide, hopefully, as I say here on the slide, that can clear everything up for you. Of course, all of the information is on eCollege on the course website, but I've had to make some changes, as I'll make clear in a few minutes here. And so I just wanted to give you guys kind of a one go-to spot where hopefully you'll be able to leave this presentation with a clear idea of what we're going to be doing in this class. Some of you will very much like this picture, and others of you will not, depending on if you're a fan. But I wanted to put this up here because we all know of Peyton Manning coming to the line and yelling Omaha and calling an audible. So we are essentially calling a little bit of an audible in this class. And the reason why I wanted to tell you this is because I think it's important for students to understand the why behind decisions that are made for courses. So one of the reasons why we are calling an audible in this class is because the Class Live Pro, which we have intended to use for this class, doesn't work really well. Some of you know that from personal experience. I have had some problems with it trying to get it set up. The other problem is this class was designed to have all of us kind of quote meeting online at a common time each week. And that is proving to be very difficult to get everybody a common time. So because of those two things, we have made a few changes to the way we're going to do things in this class. You're still going to get the same experiences, but we're going to do them a little bit differently. So that's kind of the reasons for our Audible. The nice thing about this class is that basically each week it follows a standard format. So once you can understand the requirements for each week, you're pretty much off and running. Now, the way you're going to do things each week might be a little bit different, or I should say more specifically, kind of the content each week, but what's required of you each week is going to be the same. The biggest thing you'll have each week or every other week are large group presentations. Just to clarify, by large group, it still means a presentation you are doing on your own, but it's just as if you were giving it to a team or a larger group. So it's not a group presentation that you're working with others. You're doing it by yourself, but you are doing it as if you are presenting to a team. You will do those every other week, and I'll speak a little bit more about that shortly. You've already seen your group assignments. I've sent them to you on an email. They're also on the course website. Group 1 presents on the odd weeks. Group 2 presents on the even weeks. You will also be doing peer and self-evaluations for every large group presentation. So you will be watching every large group presentation, and you will be completing a peer evaluation and also evaluating yourself. Each week, you will do one-on-one consultations with a partner in class. You will be doing an evaluation on yourself as the consultant in those consultations, as well as your partner as the consultant in those consultations. And then each week, you will also be writing a reflective practice journal, which will ask you to answer several questions about your performance that week, whether you gave a large group presentation or just did your one-on-one consultations. And finally, you will have a discussion board to post on every week. So these are the things that you will be doing every week. So if you can kind of get this pattern in your head that you'll be doing one-on-one consultations every week, and everything you do, you evaluate. So you'll evaluate yourself and your partner in those. On your weeks for the large group presentations, you will do that. You will evaluate yourself. Every week, you will evaluate all of the group presentations, and then you'll have the reflective practice journals and discussion boards each week. Just a little bit more information about the large group presentations. They will run 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll give you a little bit of leeway on that based on how well it's going. So if you go a little bit over, that's fine. Again, every other week based on group one on the odd weeks and group two on the even weeks. Topics are shown in each week's module. So when you click on the left-hand side of our course website, on each week, you will then click on either group one assignment or group two assignment, and it will tell you what you're presenting on. So every week there's a different topic that we would like you to focus on. Here's what we're doing differently. In the past, all of these presentations were done on Class Live Pro. Because of the difficulties with that, we are changing that, and your final product for these presentations will be a YouTube video. You will email me as your professor the link to that YouTube video by Friday at 11:59 Pacific time. We'll just use Pacific time as the standard for us. And you have pretty much free reign of how you want to do this, as long as that final product is a YouTube video. And I want it to be a YouTube video because it's easy for me to then email that link out to the rest of the class for them to view. It's also something that you can keep. You'll create your own YouTube page and you can keep, and you might want to use that to show other people. Hopefully you'll have done a really good job. You have a variety of different options for what that YouTube video looks like. It can be exactly what I'm doing for you right now, a PowerPoint with audio. That is extremely simple to do. You simply click on the slideshow and record audio. You record the audio, and at the end, if you're using a Mac, that's what I'm using, you can save it as a movie. So I think it goes to a QuickTime file, and you can upload that to YouTube. I've also used Keynote for those of you who can use that. That is easy to do. You can use Audacity, which is another audio application. There's a ton of information on YouTube. It's pretty easy stuff to figure out. If I can figure it out, I'm certain you guys can. I'm more than happy to help. But this is also one of the things that you learn in grad school, is you kind of learn how to figure things out. Somebody might ask you one day, I need a YouTube presentation on PowerPoint, and you'd figure out how to do it. So use your resources, myself included, to do that. So you can do an audio PowerPoint. If you'd like to make a video, just take your camera or your iPad and make a video of yourself giving the presentation and upload that to YouTube. That's great. If you don't know how to embed a PowerPoint into that video, that's fine. You can simply email me the link to the YouTube video and then also email me your PowerPoint. And then you can tell us in your video to follow along the slides on your PowerPoint. I know that that's not ideal, but we can certainly make that work if that's something that you would like to do. If you don't want to use PowerPoint and you just want to use a video with other things, maybe you have access to a nice room where you can be writing on a whiteboard and videotaping yourself. However you want to do it is fine. Be creative. I would encourage you guys to use the resources you have. Most of you will be 1,000 times better at this stuff than I am. So I'm using basic PowerPoint with audio. You can do much, much more, and please do. And I understand that the presentations might be a little clunky because of the technology. So it is completely appropriate if you want to give us a video and say, here's where you would stop my presentation and watch the video. That's fine. We will all deal with that. We understand it's not an ideal situation since we're not going to be in an actual classroom. So however you want to do your presentations, as long as it ends up with a YouTube clip that you email to me by Friday at 11:59, that's great. For this week, group one, you do have presentations. I know it's short notice. We'll obviously be very understanding of that. If you need an extra day or so to give it to me on the weekend for this week, that would be fine. But you'll want to give that YouTube video to me by Friday at 11:59 p.m. For each presentation, you will do a peer or self-evaluation. So once I get the YouTube videos, I will email them out to the rest of the class. Everyone can watch them on their own time. You will use the MAP oral presentation rubric, which can be found under the standard grading rubric, and you will mark yourself as well as every other presentation. There might be some components of that rubric that do not apply. That's fine. You can just put NA there. So for example, on this one, you can't see my body language or my eye contact. That's fine. You could just put NA. You'll submit those to the Dropbox. There is a basket in the Dropbox for each week for these by the following Tuesday. So here's how the week will work. People will email me their YouTube clips by Friday. I will send them out to the class. That gives you a couple of days to watch them and do the marking. I know it's a little bit fast, but with just the way we have to work in this class. And then by Tuesday at 11:59, you will submit those to the Dropbox so that I can view everybody's marks and then give final grades to people for those presentations. So again, you will give grades for every single presentation. One quick note on those, because of the technological challenges we're facing, I'd encourage you, don't make people lose points because their technology isn't great. Grade them on their content and their presentation, but you can certainly give people some extra points here and there for really great use of technology. So we don't want it to harm people, but if people do some really cool, exciting things, then certainly you want to recognize them for that. Each week, you'll be doing one-on-one consultations. I will pair you with a classmate within the next day or so here, and you will have a phone conversation. So you will organize this between you and your partner at any time you want during the week. You will each spend 30 minutes as the consultant. So you'll essentially talk for 50 minutes to an hour. Half the time, one of you will be consultant, the other half, the other one will be a consultant. In each week's module or each week's content, it gives you an idea of what role you should be playing and what things you're going to be discussing. One quick note on that. Please try to choose, as a client, please try to choose a performance issue you actually would like to work on. It'll make it much easier for your partner and something that you can play along with for the entire 8 weeks. After each of these one-on-one consultations, you will complete an evaluation on yourself and on your partner using the one-on-one consultation rubric, which again can be found in our standard grading rubrics. That you'll submit to me on Sunday at 11:59. And then finally, you'll have a reflective practice journal each week. That's found in the module for each week. You'll submit that to the Dropbox, and you will also have discussions to complete each week. So I know it sounds like a lot, but on the weeks that you have your group presentation, you will make your group presentation. I'd encourage you to work ahead, by the way, work a couple weeks ahead if you can. You'll complete that presentation and send me the link Friday by 11:59. Everybody each week will complete the evaluations on those presentations by the following Tuesday. Everyone will do one-on-one consultations with their partner and complete peer and self-evaluations for those and submit those to the Dropbox by Sunday. And you will also do reflective practice journals and your discussions each week. So you will email me YouTube clips. All evaluations go into the Dropbox. Reflective practice journals go into the Dropbox, and the discussions you will do in the threaded discussion. So I know it sounds like a lot, but hopefully this will streamline things a little bit more. And as always, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask me.